It's week 4. We got a lot of parts to install. Now, as much as I wish this stuff was all free and sponsored, it's not. I'm the sponsor. So if you guys could, just let me know in the comments how much you think all this stuff costs. We got engine mounts, spindles, water pump, oil filter, starter, power steering pump, headers, wiring, power steering rack, more steering components, upper lower control arms, radiator, alternator, battery tray, just some miscellaneous stuff. But I want to know your guys' guess how much you think this is worth in parts. I didn't buy it all at once. I've been slowly buying stuff for a while, but now's the day to kind of get it all put on. First, I'm gonna get this power steering rack installed. If you have any questions about any of the parts or any of the tools or anything I'm using, just leave a comment and I'll get back to you guys. These cobwebs. So they sell a spacer for this, but I just kind of taped some washers together. Pretty sure it's supposed to be 3/4 of an inch. I made these a while ago, so I don't remember the exact. But they Speedway Motors, you can actually buy the actual spacer for it, which I will eventually. And whatever the thickness of that spacer was, that's what I made this too. This is always the fun part. Oof. Well, I'm not going to be able to fully tighten it down right now because I don't have a wrench that will. So I have to do it. Use my fingers as a wrench for now. This isn't final assembly anyways, so I'm only putting this stuff on to test fit everything. All right, now let's get the control arms on and these Wildwood spindles. These spindles are super nice. These are a 2-inch drop. They're from Wildwood. So I have the Heights Mustang 2 cross member on here. If you guys are new here or I haven't told you before, that's why we got this different steering rack than a normal Falcon has. Right here is where the lower control arm's gonna mount. We're actually gonna put a bolt right through here. It's gonna come out the other side. And maybe I should have put that on first before the steering rack. We'll see. And then the upper control arms are gonna go right here. So I have not had these on in a while. When I first put this all together, I put the control arms and I had the steering rack and stuff on here, but I mean, it's been a long time. And I didn't have this panel made yet either, so we'll see how that all works. All right, I wasn't going to make you guys watch that, but yeah, steering rack had to come off. Let's get this lower control arm on. The bolt goes through this way, and that's going to block it all. So I wasn't going to make you guys watch that, so now let's put this lower control arm on. Now let's do the upper control arm. These have these special nuts and bolts. I got these from Heights. I think they're called like T-bolts or something, but they just slip in here. So these can only go a certain way. If you look, so the way this control arm is, I need it to be this way. Oh yeah, it should fit that way. Yep. So it this way. There we go. So it's not going to be fun when everything's painted. But we're just going to skip to this install. I'm not going to make you watch me. Now we'll get the spindle on. I decided to get this castle nut and washer off the upper ball joint. And then I made this. This is just like a fake coilover. I don't have my real coilovers yet. When I do, they're going to be some QA1s. I'll probably get those things ordered soon. Right now, this just slips in here. I can adjust the size of this so then I know what size coilovers I'm going to want. I already know it's going to be the Mustang 2 coilovers that QA1 sells. I just got to figure out what weighted spring I want to get. But if you don't have them, you can just do something like this. Just two nuts that sandwich together on this upper control arm mount or shock tower mount. So here's the driver's side all put together. Let's get the passenger side done. Let's get this power steering rack put on. All right, now let's get this oil filter adapter put on and an oil filter. All right, now let's get these headers put on. So I bought a bunch of different headers for this car and returned other ones. So these are actually Clipster headers from Speedway and they fit really good. So I bought a couple styles because I thought I might have to cut some up and like modify two together. But these actually clear all the steering components that I needed it to do and they fit really good. I just need to trim, on the passenger side, I just need to trim the header itself a little bit and the frame a little bit. It barely rubs. So I'm going to put the gaskets on. Like this is just all for mock-up, but I just want to know the clearance and stuff. And I'm not going to use those gaskets that it came with anyways when I do final assembly. But this is all these parts I'm putting on here is for mock-up. Because I have my new steering column coming in. So I need to have the headers and everything in to actually link up what the steering is going to be. Because that's one thing I haven't tried yet. A lot of these parts I've tested and had on before, so I know they fit. So that's why you're not seeing me have any modifications or nothing. I just didn't know exactly which order they go on and off sometimes. But yeah, these are Clipster headers from Speedway Motors. They're actually for a Camaro. Now I'm not torquing this down. Like this is just for mock-up. This driver's side fits pretty good. As you can see with these headers, I have a lot of room from the steering rack to the steering column. This is the original steering column for the Falcon. Well, half of it, I cut some of it off because it actually went to the side of the frame rail where the header actually is. But my new steering column comes, I think, on Wednesday, so you're going to see that in next week's video. But I'm going to have enough room to get to the steering rack. So, I mean, it should work. Hopefully it does. But yeah, this is the driver's side. Let's throw the passenger side on real quick. Now this passenger side is a little bit tighter of a fit. Like I said before, it hits on the frame rail a little bit. That's why I want to put these gaskets on, so I can really know how much I need to shave off the frame and this actual header itself. So this one I probably won't be able to tighten it down all the way. We'll have to do some modifications. We'll see. We'll see what happens in a second. It's probably been about 6 months since I've had this all on here. I had this car on a chassis table when I was doing the Heights Mustang 2 front suspension, and I had all this stuff in here because I mounted the motor and all that stuff, but I never had any full videos of all that. I started recording videos and making YouTube after I did all that stuff. I might be able to tighten this down. It's barely hitting. Like I just gotta take a little bit off and it'll fit just fine. So maybe I'm not gonna tighten this one down all the way because I'm gonna take a little bit of that off later and then we'll get that all tightened up. Now we can get the starter in here. There's some hardware. Oh yeah. This is the Power Max Plus by Power Master. Cool looking starter. It's got some good weight to it. See the starter. There's plenty of room. So for the alternator and power steering pump, I went with the TCI kit. This is a nice, inexpensive kit. I'm probably going to paint all this stuff black later on, but right now we're just mocking everything up. So I'm going to get that all installed. So let's get to it. I pre-installed some of this ICT bracket onto the water pump. This side's for the alternator. Power steering pump's going to go on this side. So we're going to get this put on real quick. I'm gonna have to go pick up some more hardware for the power steering pump. I'm just using generic hardware right now because this is just mock-up, like I keep saying. But I'm just gonna throw this bolt in here. This is way too long, but just to kind of hold this up for now. Now these are the brackets for the power steering pump. All right, now let's get the alternator on here. So this is the ICT kit. We got the water pump, alternator on. You got adjustability down here, adjustability up here. I don't have any pulleys or nothing on yet, but at least I got something on there. Like I said before, I do have to get some more hardware. I really only have one bolt really holding this water pump on. I don't have anything, so I'm just gonna put some Menards hardware on for now. I don't need nothing nice yet. This is just mock-up. So yeah, it's starting to look like an engine bay. We got the battery tray. I'm just gonna set this in here for now. I'm not gonna bolt it in, but it goes right there. Just want that just for some reference. Yeah, all these boxes are empty. We installed everything. Now all we got left is the steering, which I said the steering rack comes on Wednesday. These are tie rods. We don't need those. And then I don't need to put those on right now either. So we got quite a bit done today. We got steering rack on, upper lower control arms with the spindles, headers in. So now we can mess with the steering for next week or whenever I make that video. I probably will. I'll probably show you guys the steering column and then rough stuff next week, but maybe we will, but I don't know if I'm going to get that all installed. We got the power steering pump on, alternator, water pump. Can get the radiator in. And then battery tray, header on this side, starter, upper lower control arms. I did modify this a while ago for the radiator. I actually cut where the original radiator went on both sides. I cut notches out here. So my new one, it just slips in. So I pulled these out and then cut these notches. So the radiator actually slips in between here and then it bolts. So it actually fits pretty nice in there. So we can get the radiator in too. That's going to do it for this week. Check out my weekly Falcon update playlist. I got a bunch of episodes on there. I'm going to keep adding more every single Sunday, 9 a.m. I'm going to post a new episode, so we'll see you guys next Sunday.